Today, we're going to take your swim back to basics. Wait, before you click away. Even if you've been swimming for years, a refresher of the basics could unlock some free speed, faster, for less effort.
Yeah, everyone from beginner to expert wants that. Stick with us, where we explain the real reason you're not swimming faster. By the end of this video, you may have a whole new understanding of how your swim works, or maybe doesn't work. But at the very least, we're willing to bet that you may find one, maybe two things that you've perhaps neglected that could give you that all-important free speed.
And we promise no swimming jargon or those annoying catchphrases like high elbow or bilateral breathing or catch-up. So we've got Mark in the water. He's going to demonstrate some of the things you might be doing wrong and hopefully how to do them correctly. Starting with breathing. Swimming would be easy if you didn't have to worry about breathing, but we're mammals. And not only do we have to breathe the air, we're also hardwired to panic at the first sign of anything limiting our breathing. So you do need to practice this. Getting oxygen in, carbon dioxide out, all in perfect timing without slowing down your stroke is actually a very skillful and complex task. And it's worth going back to basics to make sure you get this right. Start with getting comfortable breathing in a rhythm. Out in the open air, you can breathe in and out whenever you like. But when you're swimming, you can't. You have to breathe in a specific rhythm. And you can do this by doing something that kids do in kindergarten. Blow bubbles. Start with blowing bubbles in a simple rhythm, out under the water, breathe in above the water. Progress this to a faster breath out the water, where you quickly inhale, and then a slow breath under the water, where you breathe out slowly under the water. And then you can progress this even further to where you hold in your breath for a little while under the water before you exhale gently and then come up for a quick breath above the water. And then you can progress this even further to what they call sink downs, where you take a quick breath above the water and then gradually sink down as you exhale all the air in your lungs and learn to relax without any air in your lungs. Push yourself to breathe in quickly and deeply. If you take too long to breathe in, you have to hold your head out the water while swimming, which throws out all your timing, and breathe out under the water slowly and controlled. To swim well, this should be second nature. If you time this wrong, needing to breathe out above the water or breathing everything out before your stroke is ready for another inhalation, it can trigger that panic instinct to get your face back to the air. Even if you have been swimming for years, your breathing patterns may be faulty. You may have some bad habits crept in there. So we'd suggest you take a critical look at yours. Do you hold your breath unnecessarily? Do you time your inhalation and exhalation perfectly? Take a good hard look at it. Make sure it's perfect. The next major skill we're going to look at, which is often overlooked and many experienced swimmers still get wrong, is balance. Balance in the pool is a tricky concept because you aren't actually balancing on anything. You're balancing in the water. And you also aren't balancing left, right, or forward, back. You're balancing in 3 dimensions. You can kind of picture it as balancing your body on a slack line that keeps changing direction. You've got to try and find that balance the whole time. Also, while you're balancing, your buoyancy changes. So when you take a deep breath in, your upper body becomes more buoyant and changes your balance. And then when you breathe out, your upper body becomes less buoyant and changes your balance again. If you've only just started swimming, you can picture it a bit like asking a 2-year-old who's just learned to walk to run down a rocky trail. That dynamic balance that they're going to need is just such a foreign concept. And even if you have been swimming for a while, carrying on the analogy, it's a bit like asking someone who's been running on the road for years and years to run down that rocky trail. While they might have good balance whilst running, adding that dynamic aspect gets really tricky. So how do you know if this is your issue and how do you fix it? Start with a push and glide off the wall with your body level and your feet not dropping, your head not lifting. Once you've got this, add a few light kicks. If it throws off your balance, your kick is too strong. Then add a few strokes and stop when your balance goes. Finally, add a breath. And this is usually where everyone's balance goes. So stick to this point until you can breathe without dropping your legs or lifting your head. Finally, repeat the 6-kick, 3-stroke drill often to remind yourself what your balance should feel like. Remember, balance in the pool is much like riding a bicycle. It's a lot easier to keep your balance correct when you're moving forward. So when perfecting this, keep going until you feel like your pace is gone and your balance is gone, and then stop immediately and restart again. The final thing we're going to suggest today, we don't want to overload you, is your head position. Now this is something that affects both your breathing and your balance. So it affects those other two factors, and it's vital to get it right. But this is something that beginners almost always get wrong. And even experienced swimmers fall into bad habits of where they hold their head and how they rotate it. So fixing this one thing can make a massive difference to your stroke. It is natural, especially if a bit less comfortable in the water, to keep your head up, or at least nice and close to the surface. But this will definitely throw your balance off. So how do you know if yours is in the right position, and how do you fix it? First, your head position when swimming. Your eyes should be looking down about 1 to 2 meters in front of you, not looking at your feet, but also not looking too far forward. And then you should have a stable head. Your head should not be rocking and rolling with each stroke. It should be facing forward and staying in that position. Then, when breathing, rotate your head to breathe. Don't lift it. Bring your chin to the air, not your eyes. And rotate your head with your body, but bring it back to the center as soon as possible. Don't hold it in the breathing position. Finally, only rotate your head as far as is necessary to breathe. It is less far than you think. You only need one eye out of the water, and you can almost breathe with your mouth at water level. When you head to the open water, this head position thing becomes much harder, both because you don't have a black line to focus your gaze upon, and also because you have to sight to see where you're going, meaning you lift your head. But this doesn't mean you shouldn't think about it. Quite the opposite. It means you should pay more attention to it. In between those sightings, you need to get your head back down into the correct position to be as streamlined as possible. Well, there's definitely more to work on when it comes to perfecting your swimming. We haven't even spoken about your arms and your legs, which are the propulsive force in your swim. But for good reason, because your arms and legs would simply be wasting energy if your breathing was not correct, or your head was in a poor position, or your body was in a poor position. So it is definitely worth perfecting these things first. We hope this video has helped you wherever you are in your swimming journey, whether you're an experienced expert or whether you're just starting out. Good luck with the rest of the swimming. Don't forget to like this video if it has helped you, and don't forget to subscribe to GTN so you don't miss any of our future swimming videos.